Alrighty, y'all, we finally made it. So about 3 to 4 months ago, I started working on my first real SaaS application, and I started documenting my progress here on YouTube. So thank you a ton for everybody who has stuck around, watched all the devlogs to this point. And if you're not subscribed, just by the way, about like 96% of you aren't subscribed. So if you're into SaaS and that sort of thing, definitely consider subscribing. But all that being said, I have finally reached a point with DinnerBee where I'm at like a really good MVP stage. And from there, I wanted to do a beta. So that is exactly what this video is going to be about. Really want to cover three things as it pertains to the DinnerBee beta. The first being, why am I even choosing to do a beta? Is this something that is really necessary if you're building a SaaS application? So really just what are some of my motivations and reasons behind doing a beta before I actually fully launch? Second piece of this is going to be how exactly I am conducting the beta, who are the people that are involved in the beta, and what am I asking them to do throughout the beta period? And then finally, I want to talk about, what are the things that I'm really looking to get out of this beta. There's definitely some key insights that I'm looking to gain as it pertains to how well is the application functioning? Are users able to use the platform how I expect them to? And is there any kind of disconnect there? So I'll go into all my motivations and reasons and things that I'm looking to get out of this beta. I'm super proud to have gotten to this point. And like I said, if you've been around since the beginning, I really do appreciate each and every one of you who has watched a devlog or commented on a video. So there's been a lot of projects throughout my life that I have not finished, and I'm very, very, very close to fully finishing this one and launching it. So that is very exciting for me. But with all that said, let's hop into the first thing that I want to talk about in this beta video, which is why exactly am I even doing a beta in the first place? So I think for a lot of folks who are building SaaS, they might be asking themselves, is a beta something that I even need to do before I actually launch? And I really do think it depends. I absolutely could have foregone this stage completely and gone for, a soft kind of launch where I was starting to do some very light marketing and, as users started to come into the application, kind of deal with bugs or anything that came up and done that with actual users. But I wasn't super comfortable with that. I don't have a free plan with DinnerBee, so these people who would be potentially reporting bugs are paying customers, and I really don't want someone to come into this platform and have a really bad experience, especially after they've already paid for the platform. So really that goes into my main motivation behind doing a beta for DinnerBee, is because this is the first SaaS application that I really built and launched. There are just some things that I wasn't super comfortable with getting paid users before doing a bunch of testing with other folks first. And so I'm really kind of relying on some of these beta users to help me identify bugs, help me identify things in the process that maybe don't make a ton of sense from a user experience perspective. If there are any weird issues in the UI, I would love to hash all of this out before I ever present it to paying customers. I definitely don't want this to become something that lingers for a really long time though, so I'm trying to limit the scope of the beta periods to maybe a week or 2 weeks throughout my various phases of this beta. You really can get in a cycle of, people are reporting different kinds of bugs or small UI things, or maybe implement this feature, and I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I want to make sure that what I have right now is rock solid, and it doesn't have a million features or anything like that, but it has a core set of features that I'm excited to give users, and I want to make sure that those are as rock solid as possible before folks start paying for it. The other main motivation for myself doing a beta, and this is very personal, like I don't think it would apply to a whole lot of folks unless you're also building a community, but that is an aspect of this. A lot of the folks that I am having participate in my beta are folks from this YouTube channel and this community, and I really wanted to give an opportunity for myself to connect with folks who watch my videos and also interact with them as they're interacting with my platform. And also I'm giving them access to DinnerBee for the lifetime of the application. So just a way for me to give back to folks who have watched my content. So to summarize, you absolutely don't have to do a beta. In the future, I might forego this stage, depending on how this one goes. If there's a bunch of things that come out of it, maybe I'll do it again in the future. But I would say, if it goes really well and there's not a lot of things that need to be hashed out, this is something that I could consider skipping in the future. All right, now let's hop into the second thing, which is kind of the meat of the beta, which is how exactly am I conducting it? So the way that I'm doing this is in 3 different phases. The first phase, I am only letting 3 folks into DinnerBee. And so these 3 people, along with myself, obviously, are folks who are software engineers who I've worked with in the past or are friends of mine. And I'm really counting on them to make sure that things make sense from a software perspective. Are there huge vulnerabilities that I missed? Are there site crashing bugs that they're able to create and replicate? And those things I want to really iron and hash out before I even let the second phase of folks into the beta. These are people that I really trust and respect, and I know that they'll be able to give me really honest feedback. And I'm really hoping that they don't find anything too crazy, but if there is something to find, I know that they will find it and help me find it and help me fix it. So these are the folks that I'm letting in the first phase. This phase is going to run for about 1 to 2 weeks. This will give them enough time to really go through the platform, test out all the features, and make sure that there's no huge glaring issues that I have to take care of. The second phase is the 30 or so folks who opted into my beta registration from prior devlogs. So these are folks from the audience, and shout out to y'all. I really do appreciate this in advance, you taking the time to test out DinnerBee. So folks from my audience are other engineers, they're product people, they're QA, some of them are students, some of them are just folks who are interested in SaaS in general. And so this will give me a nice kind of wide range of folks who can come into the platform with different lenses, and they'll be able to pick up on things that maybe myself as a just really focused engineer isn't capable of seeing. And, if they look at it from a QA lens or a product lens, I'll be able to get all kinds of different feedback. And these people don't really know me on a personal level, so I'm hoping that the feedback that they give is very direct, and they definitely don't have to worry about hurting my feelings or anything like that. I want all the feedback that I could possibly get from this. And the third and final phase of this beta period is one more user coming into the platform, and that is my girlfriend, because she is the person that I initially built this software for us to use and help plan our meals throughout the week. So whatever she says is going to be the most important feedback that I probably get, because like I said, I built it with her in mind. So if she has any feedback, I obviously have to take care of it. In terms of how I'm keeping track of all the feedback that I get throughout the beta period, I have set up a private Discord that I'm going to invite folks to. Inside that Discord, there are different channels for different types of issues that folks could encounter. So the first is system breaking errors. If there's something that the entire app crashes, I definitely need to know about those. Then there are other issues like UI issues, especially as they pertain to mobile responsiveness. There are things like UX suggestions. So if there's anything that doesn't make sense from a user experience perspective, I would love to know about those. And if there's any suggestions on how to improve the user experience, I'm more than happy to take those into consideration. There's also a channel for UI suggestions. I'm not a designer, but I did design all of DinnerBee, so I definitely think there's probably room to improve in this regard, and I think I do have some more design or front-end folks that are part of the beta, so I'll be very interested to see what folks have to say in that regard. The final thing that I have is a features suggestion list, and like I said, I really do plan on launching DinnerBee with just the core features that I have at the moment, but I am interested in expanding and adding more features as I continue to onboard users and maybe they start asking for things as well. So compiling a list of potential future features is a great thing to start right now, so I can kind of have that in the back of my mind as I move forward. And finally, these are the things that I want to take away from this beta. First and foremost, obviously, if there's any huge system breaking bugs, I need to know about those so I can fix them before I start getting users into the platform. Like I said before, I'm really curious about user experience too, and if it makes sense. If there's anything that's just not intuitive about the platform, I would love to hear about that and think about ways to make it easier for a user to onboard onto the platform. I also want to refine my development process as it pertains to fixing bugs and doing things now that everything is hosted in a production environment, kind of just getting a good grasp on how my local development will be while I also have it in a production environment. I don't have all of that hashed out right now, but I do want to develop a good process for when I have real users and they encounter a bug, I'm able to ship something really fast and confidently as well. And the final thing that I want out of this is kind of just like peace of mind. I want to know that folks can use the platform and there's not going to be huge issues. And when I start to get paying users, yeah, I might get an issue here or there. But for the most part, for 90%, 95% of the cases, they're going to be able to use the platform as they're intended to. And if I can just kind of gain some of that peace of mind throughout this beta, I think that will be a huge win for me. So that's how I'm doing it. That's how I am running the beta. That's why I'm running the beta. And those are the things that I'm looking to get out of it as well. I'm really curious if anybody else has run a beta for their software platform, if you're using anything else in terms of like software to actually keep track of issues that come up. Like I said, I just threw everything in a Discord, so that might not be the most ideal solution for it. But yeah, we just wanted to shout out those 30 or so folks who are going to be taking part in the beta starting next week. It's going to start December 2nd, last for about 1 to 2 weeks. So I'll be looking forward to also sharing an update video after that, kind of showing the results and showing probably some of the things that I fixed along the way. So thank you a ton for watching all the way through. I'm super excited to do this beta, and I'm also super excited to launch DinnerBee likely at the very beginning of 2025. So thank you again for watching all the way through to the end. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will see you in the next one.